And this is the astrological forecast for the sign of Aries for the whole of 2020. Because it's a year-long forecast and because I'm trying to cover the whole sign, my apologies if I miss out on certain individuals. But here we go. So straight away, let me say that 2020 is going to be a very different year from many of the years that have preceded it. 2019 has been a pretty difficult year for a lot of you. 2020 is not going to be any easier. It's not necessarily going to be tougher. It's going to be different. And especially the second half of 2020 and especially the third quarter of 2020 is going to change a number of your lives in a way that at the current time is pretty unforeseeable, but is going to be permanent. So let's look at certain specific situations. First of all, let's look at the new moon in Aries. The Aries new moon this year is going to be taking place on the 24th of March at 4 degrees of Aries, and it's not really touching anything else in the sky. So this is a rather benign new moon, and it suggests that for many of you, especially those of you born in March, that the time around your birthday is a good time for launching, initiating or beginning anything new. Great. The full moon in Aries is on the 1st of October. It's at 9 degrees of Aries. It's going to particularly impact on those of you born around the 29th and 30th of March. But again, not in a way that's overtly dramatic. I don't see that there's any sign of major problems here. Looking at the more minor influences, Mercury is going to spend just over 2 weeks in Aries this coming year, which is not a great time at all. This is Mercury moves into Aries on the 11th of April and it will leave on the 27th of April. Venus will also spend just about a month in your sign. Venus will move into Aries on the 7th of February and leave on the 5th of March. And then we come to Mars. Mars normally spends 6 weeks in Aries every couple of years. And then every so often, every 25 years, Mars goes retrograde in Aries. This is happening in 2020. So Mars will move into Aries on the 28th of June 2020. It will then stay in Aries and not leave until it moves into Taurus, which will be on the 6th of January 2021. So Mars is going to be in Aries, instead of 6 weeks, it's going to be in Aries for 27 weeks. This is going to be interesting, especially as during Mars's stay in Aries and its retrograde motion, it's going to pass square 3 times to Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. Now, let's explore this. Let's first of all look at the outer planets that aren't affecting you. Uranus is in Taurus, the next door sign to you, and that's not making any big impact. So there's no sense of new unexpected drama, for example. Uranus isn't looking your way. There's no sense of the unpredictable coming up. Neptune isn't touching you either. It's in the other next door sign to you, Pisces. So there's no sense of any new confusion. Neither Neptune nor Uranus are paying you that much attention. But the big boys in Capricorn really, really are. Now, over the coming year, Pluto is going to be squaring the Sun of those of you, in this last year, Pluto's been squaring the Sun of those of you born around the 8th, 9th, 10th, maybe the 11th of April. And it's been a pretty horrendous time. There's been a lot of subversive and coercive behind the scenes manipulation, power struggles, and a few of you have come out of it really well with a much greater degree of psychological depth. In 2020, Pluto's going to be squaring the Sun of those of you born, a few of you on the 11th and those of you on the 12th and 13th, maybe the 14th as well, some of you. So here we're looking at, again, a degree of saying to you, well, watch your back. There's a sense of manipulation and behind the scenes tactics going on. And not everything is going to be the way it seems to be. Now, I'm not trying to make you suspicious, but I am trying to imbue you with a sense of caution, because there's going to be people out there with a vested interest in you remaining the same as you've always been because it's convenient to them. And this can involve all types of inappropriate or unethical manipulation and power struggles. And because of this, I do advise caution in believing everything you're being told, especially if you're one of these people born on the 12th to the 14th of April. And you will find that you're going to be getting a lot more deeper inside yourself, to the point of becoming almost forensic. You're going to be becoming so deeply, not introverted, but you're going to be deep into the base of your soul. You're going to be going into your own psychology in a way that speaks volumes of your own inner strength. It's just that other people may find you a little bit more intense or obsessive or compulsive. Saturn is in Capricorn, and over the first couple of months of the year, Saturn's going to be squaring the Sun of those of you born from the 11th through to the 15th of March. And if you're one of these people, then this first 2 months of the year is a time of stepping back from the world and going through your address book with a black felt pen, and going through your computer files and junking loads of stuff, and going through your house and getting rid of loads of clothes and books and papers. And this is a one-off situation which will be concluded by the end of February. After this, from the start of March onwards, Saturn then impacts on the charts of those people born around the 15th through to the 20th, 21st of March, in a way that's going to take 9 months of weeding, pruning, streamlining, clearing the decks, letting go of things, people, situations and environments that are past their sell-by date and have reached the end of their shelf life. This is not loss, but it is releasing old stuff so that when the future comes in, it doesn't have to negotiate old baggage. However, Saturn is also going to be being your friend to those of you born at the very start of Aries, i.e. the 20th, 21st, possibly the 22nd of March. If you're one of these people, then particularly the second quarter of 2020, April, May, June, is a time where you are going to see signposts of the way forward, which should then change into something really real and substantial as you get into the last 2 weeks of December, the last couple of bits of the last fortnight of 2020. So it's not all bad as far as Saturn goes. But then Jupiter is in Capricorn also. In the short term, Jupiter is going to be squaring the Sun of those of you born from the 27th of March through to the 7th of April. Over the first 6 to 8 weeks of the year, in a one-off situation which could actually increase your waistline, increase your debt levels, can make you go over the top. From the middle end of February onwards, Jupiter's then going to spend 8 months squaring the Sun of those, 9 months really, squaring the Sun of those of you born from the 7th of April through to the 17th of April. And if you're one of these people, then really your mantra over 2020 has to be quality, not quantity. It'll be very easy to go for the biggest, the most, the strongest, when actually you should be going for the best. Don't overreach. Quality beats quantity. Now, add to this that Mars is coming into Aries, and there will be a couple of really concentrated periods. The first 3.5 weeks of August, when Mars will square Jupiter on the 4th of August, Pluto on the 13th of August, and then Saturn on the 24th of August. This speaks volumes, and those of you born around the time of the 8th through to the 15th of April, this is a time to be cautious, really. It really is. Much more volatile than normal. Also, the time around the middle 10 days of October is probably the most risky time of the year. It's a time where a number of you, particularly those of you born around the 11th, 12th, 13th, maybe 14th of April, can find yourselves much more accident prone, clumsy, susceptible to sharp objects, or just feeling really frustrated, irritated and impatient, and then taking stupid chances as a result. The new moon on the 16th of October is particularly challenging for many of you. The thing is, you're going to be on the receiving end of so much energy. Now, this energy is going to be building and building and building as you get into July and August, and then into very early September. And then Mars goes retrograde around the 8th, 9th of September, at which point the energy stops being pushed into the outside world and starts turning inward, and you start getting a degree of retrospect and reassessment. And instead of then you impacting onto the outside world, it's going to be the outside world impacting onto you from about the 8th, 9th of September onwards. And this will then continue until Mars stops going retrograde around the 13th, 14th of November, after which Mars starts moving forward again and leaves Aries at the start of January 2021. It's going to get a bit messy. It's going to get very intense. On the one hand, actions always speak louder than words, but responsibility for your actions. Mars in Aries, the wise and sensible amongst you will train yourselves so that you can be projective and assertive without being confrontational and aggressive. Those of you who buy into other people's game plans and allow your buttons to get pushed, you're not doing yourself or the world any favours. So the wise amongst you will go, whoa, okay, I'm stepping back from this now. I'm getting in too deep. Time to back off. It's very much a time of self-determination without upsetting the apple cart. It's going to be a fine balancing act. It's going to be an interesting time, particularly the time of September and October. More on that nearer the time. Meantime, big thank you to those 2 or 3 Aries people, no names, who have helped me big time in this last year with workshops, lectures, tours, gigs, things like that. And to all of you who've made the kind donations you have. It's people like you who keep people like me going. That's why I'm able to keep putting out occasional content on YouTube free of charge. Have done for 10 years now. Will continue to do for as long as I'm able. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a crazy year, but have a great new year. Cheers, folks. Bye.